Now we come to possibly the most famous biblical passage about music, Isaiah 6, verses 1 through 5. Many congregations sing the Sanctus, which is an adaptation of this passage, before communion. In this passage, the angels of the Lord cry out, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory." And then something stupefying happens. It goes, "And the posts of the door moved at the voice of him that cried, and the house was filled with smoke." What a formidable situation, right? Poor Isaiah must have feared that his death was near. But the kind of music in scriptures like this passage is capable of overpowering us, kind of like an earthquake rattling our foundation. We're talking about the music of God here. Sometimes God sings through us, and we create overpowering music here on earth. We sing back to God and essentially shake his divine architecture with our cries of happiness and despair. Our musical relationship with God is very dialogical in this way. Now, the word overpower may conjure up some negative associations for some, certainly for the oppressed. The idea of being overpowered sounds pretty undesirable. Music can overpower us in a way that leads us away from God. For instance, concerned parents in the 1950s argued that rock and roll music was luring their young adult children towards hedonism. And while perhaps correct, they failed to recognize the Christian African-American gospel roots of rock and roll and the music's power to celebrate life and freedom. Music can lead us away from God, but often it actually transforms us into more faithful people. Sacred music, especially, is designed to point us to God. Transformation materializes in every person uniquely. How can we tell if we are being overpowered in a constructive or destructive way? Most likely, our actions will deliver answers for us. We ask, are our actions in line with the teachings of Jesus? Are we compelled to help others, or do we indulge our own interests? It's useful to check in with ourselves every once in a while to identify our good and bad influences as best we can. For better or worse, our surroundings modify our philosophies and our actions over time. Our influences directly impact what we put out into the world, so it's a big deal. Music can overpower us positively or negatively, and we pray to be overpowered by God's overwhelming grace and protected from corrupting diversions. In the comments of this lesson, answer this question. How do you think we can differentiate between the quote-unquote good and the bad musical influences? When you're ready, go on to the next lesson. We are almost to the end.